The following program contains violence, disturbing imagery, nudity, and, oh my God, why are you even watching this? Just run away. This shit is going to give you nightmares.
We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams.
Recorded live at the Jerrad Show studios in Tampa, Florida. It's another episode of the Jerrad Show. And now, here's your host, Jerrad Suarez.
That's right. Back again for another episode of the Jerrad Show. Friday show is here. It's November 3rd. Thanks for listening to us on iTunes and Spreaker, and YouTube, Facebook. Thank you so much for every way you listen to us. I'm very appreciative to anybody who listens to this podcast and sits through 4.5 minutes of a song I want to play just to listen to me talk for a little bit. I think this one's going to be a good show. Heck, they're all good so far. I've really been enjoying doing these podcasts every day. It's the last one of the week. You know, when I was recording the Jerrad Show with Frank, we were doing it on Saturday nights, and we would do one at a time to start out with, and then eventually got to a point because I wanted to release content multiple times a week. So if you wanted to listen to the Jerrad Show, it was there, brand new, fresh episode for you to listen to. If not, you could, you didn't have to listen to that day's episode. You could listen to some of the episodes before. Or if one of the episodes piqued your interest, like, maybe you want to hear somebody talk about Stranger Things too because you just finished it. So that's where I'm at. I'm enjoying the show. I'm enjoying doing this. It makes me feel like I'm learning things about how to do a podcast, even though that I've been doing this show for a really long time now, and it's only recently that I've been doing these shows like this, where I sit down and press record, and it's just me, and I start talking about whatever the hell I can think of. It's only after that I feel like I'm learning what I like and what I don't like about what I do with the show. So today was a rough day for me. I decided to do the podcast here at the studio rather than go to Disney World and do it. I'm just going to go over to Disney World for the evening and just chill out. I'm not going to worry about doing a podcast while I'm out there. I'm probably going to get some delicious snacks and maybe ride a roller coaster or two. So I just wanted to get this out of the way first because I am not backing down on this everyday thing. I don't care how tired I am from working, anything. But anyways, today I was training for a new job that I'm trying to get, so I had to go out to a work site. It was a pretty cool site, as they would call it. It's a radio tower for a radio and TV and a cell tower. It's all three of them. And I went to work on the power support system that keeps the whole place running, because radio stations and TV stations, they can't lose their signal, obviously, so they need some way to keep their power on all the time, even if a generator it could fail, or they need more power than a generator can provide. So that's where this company steps in, and I'm training to do a couple of different things for the company. But it was just really cool to be out there and see how radio is broadcasted, through a radio, right? A radio signal goes up into a transmitter in a big, huge tower. That's super awesome. And there was two radio stations that I'm kind of familiar with, not familiar with, but kind of a fan of. I love the Cox Media Group radio stations here in Tampa, so any of their stations I'm all on board with. 1025 The Bone with Mike Kelta in the mornings. That's my favorite radio station. I could listen to that all day, but that's not the one that was there. The one that was there was a pop station and the adult contemporary station, So it was still really cool to see how things were broadcast. The signal was brought into the building and then turned into, electrical signals that get pumped up into a, 1,300 foot tower and beamed out across the airwaves. It was pretty cool to, check all that out. So, one thing that I don't think was a good thing about today is that because I was working and I had to drive so far away, I didn't have real time to eat a real breakfast or stop for a good breakfast. So I got McDonald's, and then I worked right through lunch and didn't get lunch till about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And McDonald's was there for me again, I gotta say. It's quality and it's consistency. Anywhere you go, you get a Big Mac. It's the same Big Mac, and it's so delicious. Get a little bit of extra Mac sauce on that thing. So good. But I do like McDonald's. You know, some of my favorite food would obviously be the Big Mac. You got to have a sweet tea because I'm in Florida, and that's what we drink here. And who doesn't love a chicken McNugget? Who doesn't love a double cheeseburger? You know, those are some of my favorite McDonald's foods. But I don't know how I got on McDonald's. Oh, because obviously I'm working and had to grab a quick bite. That's how people fail in life, is by grabbing a quick bite at McDonald's. That's a failure. Should never be eating McDonald's, much less twice a day. And I as I was driving, because I was driving a lot today, I realized that the majority of the litter that is out there is from people that make bad decisions. So not only are you making a bad decision to, eat McDonald's, but you're also going to make a terrible decision by littering and throwing it out of your car. I saw McDonald's bags and different food bags, and if you think about it, that's most of the trash that you see. Even if you're walking around in a not a nice neighborhood, obviously, if there's litter around, but if you're walking around, you'll see alcoholics throw their beer cans all over the place, and what? That's what happens when you have a live podcast. You get completely interrupted. I just had to pause it. I know you heard the little kitty in the background. I had to dispose of the stray cats that come around this building. Man, that's one thing that I hate about the Jerrad Show studios, is that there's a bunch of stray cats outside, and they just come right around, and they want you to pet them and feed them. They're nice cats, but damn are they annoying, and they really mess things up on the podcast for me. Breaking my concentration. So where was I? Alcoholics litter with their beer cans and their liquor bottles. They just throw them out of their cars, and maybe bums are walking down the street and they'll throw empty liquor bottles and empty beer cans. Or just your average drunk person who doesn't care because they're drunk and they throw their beer cans on the ground. And that's ridiculous. I understand that you're inebriated, but can you please remember about the environment at least? It's like, do you want to walk through trash to get to where you're going? No, obviously, nobody does. So don't throw your shit on the ground. So fat people and alcoholics are the epitome of the litterers. Okay, and cigarette smokers, obviously. People who throw their stinky butts everywhere. And you see a lot of that. So most of the trash that I think you would see would be beer cans and alcohol containers, food containers of whatever fast food, disgusting food that you could see, even 7-Eleven foods, even, and gross gas station foods and stuff. They just don't care. They put a terrible thing in their mouth and into their body, and then they just throw the trash out into the world. They pollute themselves and pollute the world at the same time. Get it together, people. Drink responsibly and throw your shit in a fucking dumpster. What the fuck? So, that's enough for that rant. Whew. Kind of got a little bit outraged there. It's like I'm an environmentalist or something. I was looking at the news today, and it looks like BMW sucks. Like 1.4 million BMWs were recalled today. and that was because two different faulty parts on 6 different cars were causing fires and getting overheated. Some sort of ventilation on the engine, I guess what crankcase ventilation valve gets rusty and can't open. So there's no ventilation, boom, overheating, fire. Your car's burning up. And then the other one is some wiring for the air conditioning and heating. It can overheat and cause a fire. It can get hot enough to cause a fire in your car while you're driving it. That's terrible for BMW, because BMW used to be the shit, man. Everybody was talking about Beamers and all this stuff. The M series, whatever. Isn't that M3 or whatever? I don't know. But there's 6 cars that are involved in the recall, 1, 3, and 5 series. The Z4, the X3, and the X5 from model years 2007 to 2011. Those all have the ventilation valve problem. And then specifically the 3 series has a problem with the wiring in those same years. The 3 series actually is from 2006 to 2011. Those model years are affected. Would you buy a BMW and expect that one day your fucking car is going to catch on fire? I mean, at least they're recalling it, and hopefully they're fixing it. Looks like if you own one of those cars, you can start taking it in to try to get it fixed December 18th, which sucks. I would be so pissed, man. So I got that story, the BMW one that I wanted to talk. Oh, here we go. Fears squashed. Yep, that's right. A man mistakes an 11-pound zucchini for a World War II bomb. It wasn't anybody here in Florida. That would be ridiculous. Oh my God, it's a bomb. It's a World War II bomb. No, they didn't drop any of those in America. Well, possibly they threw testing grounds out in the desert. I know they did a lot of that, but did they test bombs in Florida? Watch me fuck up and there'll be like there's a bomb testing range up in the Panhandle. What are you talking about? They definitely dropped. No, see, I don't know. They could be. They could be. But that's not the instance here. This one is an 81-year-old German man. So that's legitimate. That could totally be a bomb, but instead it's an 11-pound zucchini. He called the cops. They came out, and they're like, oh, this is a pretty big zucchini. It weighed 11 pounds, and it's 16 inches long. And that's a big zucchini. Moving on, guest hosts on Jimmy Kimmel. I finally got a chance to check that out. Oh, what the fuck? Why you can't get like somebody good like Ryan Seacrest to do another one of his 103,000 things that he does in the entertainment business? You can call him or Chris Hardwick or anybody. Come on, somebody with some hosting experience could do better than Jennifer Lawrence and Shaq. What? I watched the Jennifer Lawrence Kim Kardashian West interview, and I will never get that time back in my life. Ever. It was 18 minutes and it was drawn out. Yes, I know. It was exactly 18 minutes and 12 seconds because I suffered through every second and had to keep tapping the screen. Jennifer Lawrence is not terrible at interviewing people, even her friend, but she's not even close to being good. And Kim Kardashian, she seems a lot less vapid. She talks a lot more about her children and her husband and all that stuff. But still, I don't know. I kind of felt like she was old when I was watching it. I was like, damn, this bitch has got to be like 40 or something. She's fucking getting up there in age. She's having all these kids and shit. Ridiculous. I was a kid and saw her doing stuff on a video. So did everyone else. But Shaq was all right. He interviewed Mila Kunis, but he's a giant, and he was blatantly reading things off of a card and had nothing to interject with with Mila. Like, she was carrying the interview, honestly. She was wearing some crazy boots. Something good to check out, though, if you're on YouTube. Shaq tried to interview Mila Kunis. It's pretty funny. Not funny as, like, he's trying to be funny, but it's funny because it's terrible. So, I don't know. I think Jimmy Kimmel could have done a lot better of a job, honestly. Get somebody else in there. Somebody with some hosting experience, at least. Jeez. I don't know. Anybody. You could get Anderson Cooper, and that would draw ratings. You could get Adam Carolla. That would have been awesome. But I know that I don't think they're friends anymore. The Man Show reunites, but not really, because Jimmy's not there. So I don't know. I really think that they could have done a better job. I really do. But who could have done a better job? Who could have never done a better job? Tommy Wiseau. The Disaster Artist trailer is up. I saw it from a website called A24, and it's not really... It doesn't look like it's as funny as I thought it was going to be after looking at the first trailer. It looks like it's more serious, and it kind of focuses on Tommy Wiseau's life, and I think it's going to be interesting. But I think it's also... It does seem a little pretentious from the trailer cut. It could be that they just cut this trailer specifically to make it more like this is what the movie's going to be about, and not really show any of the funny stuff. Keep that for the theaters so people can talk about it instead of just showing them in the fucking trailer. I hate when movies do that. Like, I just watched the Star Wars Last Jedi teaser. And I don't know. I think this movie's going to make tons of money, but I didn't like the Force Awakens. I liked it because it was Star Wars, but besides that, I didn't like it at all, because it just really felt like it was drawing everything from the original Star Wars movie. It was like Skywalker on a desert planet, Rey on a desert planet, meets an old man and gets in a ship and flies off to... I mean, it was very rhyming. I'm not going to sit here and point by point explain why I feel like that movie was a total ripoff of Star Wars. Mega Death Star. Come on, what the... I don't get it. I thought that would be more original and less pandering. I feel like there's a lot of pandering going on in the Star Wars universe, and it's just show everybody what they want to see. And some people like that, and some people don't. Some people like to be shown things that are unexpected. And I think that was also a reason why I kind of didn't like this season of Game of Thrones, because everything was so predictable. You could tell exactly what was going to happen. You knew what was going to happen 2 months before the show ever aired. You were like, oh, of course that's going to happen. So all these pieces that are now falling into place on the show, Game of Thrones, you already knew it was going to happen. And it had to happen because they kept foreshadowing and kept foreshadowing and kept foreshadowing that it got repetitive. And now you're like, oh yeah, of course that's happening. Of course she's losing a dragon. What? Spoilers. I don't know. I'm going to get out of here, though. I think I'm going to roll with the punches and get on out. And head out to Disney World for a couple hours and check some things out. Thanks for listening to this episode of The Jerrad Show. And as always, you can go to jerradshow.com and listen to the show as much as you want. Go to the facebook.com/Jerrad Show. You can hit me up there, see posts and pictures of different things. I think I'm going to post a picture of the zucchini. I've got a picture of the giant zucchini that the man thought was a World War II bomb. I'm going to post that on the Facebook only, not to Twitter. Twitter's at Jerrad Show. If you want to follow that, that's great. There's a lot of people that follow me on there. But the Facebook page needs attention. There's only something like 50-something people or 40-something people. I guess that's because Facebook really sucks. But hit it up. You'll see a giant zucchini. Thank you for listening. I'm going to Disney World. This has been a week of The Jerrad Show, minus 1 day of Corrupted File. This is all Jerrad, all the time, every day, every night. Jerrad Show. Thanks for listening.